On January 19th, 2026, something strange happened. A Bitcoin wallet that had been sleeping for 13.2 years suddenly woke up. Nobody had touched it since 2012. Inside sat a fortune so big it would change anyone's life. Back when this wallet went to sleep, those coins were almost worthless. Now, let's just say whoever owns it doesn't need to work anymore. But here's the mystery. This keeps happening. In 2024 and 2025, old wallets started waking up all over the world. Some had been frozen for over a decade. Who are these people? How did they lose their wallets? And how are they finding them again? The answers are stranger than you think. Let me take you back to where this story really begins. Between 2009 and 2013. Back then, Bitcoin was basically worthless. People mined or bought coins for fractions of a penny. They stored them on old hard drives, USB sticks, or simple password-protected files, like loose change in a junk drawer. Nobody thought these coins would ever be worth anything real. Bitcoin was just a weird internet experiment. Most people laughed at it, so why would anyone use a strong password? Why back up something worth less than a cup of coffee? People used simple passwords, forgot them, and moved on with their lives. In Bitcoin's first year, one coin was worth less than 1 cent. The coin sat silently on the blockchain, visible to anyone, but locked behind forgotten passwords. And here's the cruel twist. The people who cared the least about their Bitcoin back then would become the richest. If only they could remember where they put it. For years, these wallets stayed completely frozen. Then something started happening. One by one, ancient wallets began to move. Throughout the 2010s, blockchain monitoring services noticed wallets that hadn't moved in years suddenly coming to life. Addresses that had been silent for 8, 10, even 12 years started transferring coins worth millions of dollars. Every awakening sent shockwaves through the crypto community. Who was behind these wallets? Original miners? Early investors? Someone who finally cracked a lost password? Each transaction was a mystery. A ghost from Bitcoin's past, suddenly cashing out a fortune. On April 15th, 2024, a wallet dormant for nearly 14 years transferred 50 BTC to Coinbase. That's over $3 million in profit from coins once worth less than a penny. Some movements looked coordinated, multiple ancient wallets waking up within days of each other. These weren't random recoveries. Some were strategic cash outs by early pioneers who had been watching prices climb for over a decade. But not every awakening is calm. Some are desperate recovery missions. And one man's story became the most dramatic in crypto history. Now let me tell you about Michael. In 2013, his hard drive failed, and on that hard drive was a wallet containing 43.6 Bitcoin. Back then, those coins were worth only a few $100s. Painful, but not the end of the world. Then Bitcoin's price exploded. By 2022, Michael realized his lost wallet was worth approximately $3 million. Imagine knowing you're a millionaire, but the only thing between you and that money is a password you can't remember. Every day, he could see his coins sitting on the blockchain, right there, but completely untouchable. So Michael hired a security researcher named Joe Grand. Grand spent 80 hours analyzing the wallet, and he found something incredible. A flaw in the RoboForm password generator Michael had used back in 2013. By reverse engineering the software, Grand recreated the exact password. In 2024, the wallet was finally cracked open. But not everyone gets this lucky. Some wallets need a completely different approach. Now here's where things get really interesting. A whole industry has grown around cracking locked wallets. Professional recovery companies are the locksmiths of the digital age. People come to them with old hard drives, corrupted files, and half-remembered passwords, praying that somewhere inside is the key to a fortune they can almost touch. One company called Crypto Recovers in the Netherlands restored over $2.5 million worth of wallets in 2025 alone. Their biggest single recovery? Around $1.5 million. It took 2 months of password analysis and brute force computing to crack. The standard commission, 20%. That means they earned about $300,000 for that one job. 20% sounds steep until you think about the alternative. Without these specialists, that money stays locked forever. Zero for the owner, nothing. Paying 20% to recover 80% of a fortune is the easiest math in the world. But some wallets don't need cracking. They wake up on their own. And in September 2025, one of the largest awakenings ever made global headlines. In September 2025, something massive happened. A wallet containing 479 Bitcoin suddenly woke up. It had been completely silent since November 2012, 12.8 years without a single movement. Those coins were now worth $53.68 million. Back in 2012, that same stack was worth about $6,000, the price of a decent used car. Now it had multiplied nearly 9,000 times. The wallet moved $9 million in 5 quick transactions. Whale Alert and Arkham Research immediately flagged it. Who was behind this? A recovered password? An inheritance? Nobody knows. The owner stayed completely anonymous. But here's the interesting part. They only moved $9 million out of $53 million. That's not a panicked cash out. That's calculated. Someone who waited 12.8 years wasn't in a rush. They believe the price will climb even higher. But this wasn't even the biggest awakening. 4 months later, an even larger wallet would wake up. Now let me take you to January 19th, 2026. A Satoshi-era wallet suddenly woke up. It had been completely silent for 13.2 years. Inside sat 909 Bitcoin worth $84.6 million. This wallet was created during Bitcoin's infancy, when mining was done on home computers and coins cost fractions of a dollar. 13 years of silence. Bitcoin crashed. It surged. It crashed again. And through it all, this wallet sat motionless, accumulating wealth invisibly. When it finally moved, it represented a 13,900-fold increase from its original value. Whale Alert flagged it immediately, one of the largest dormant wallet awakenings ever recorded. Was this a recovery or a deliberate unlock after 13 years of patient holding? Nobody knows, but either way, that's an extraordinary story. However, for every fortune recovered, there are thousands that will never come back, because the dark side of this story is the Bitcoin that's gone forever. Now here's the dark side of this story. Not every wallet gets recovered. An estimated 1.5 to 1.8 million Bitcoin are considered permanently lost. Destroyed keys, corrupted hard drives, owners who died without telling anyone. At current prices, that's over $150 billion sitting on the blockchain, completely visible and completely unreachable. The people who lost their Bitcoin are accidentally making everyone else richer while getting nothing themselves. But the recovery industry isn't giving up. In early 2025, something incredible happened. CryptoQuant reported a 121% increase in dormant wallet reactivations. More ancient wallets woke up than in any comparable period in Bitcoin's history. The recovery boom was officially exploding. Behind every statistic is a human story. Someone finding an old laptop in a closet. Someone finally cracking a password after years of failed attempts. Someone inheriting a fortune they never knew existed. The surge was driven by better recovery software, more powerful computing, and inheritors discovering deceased relatives' holdings. Plus long-term holders deciding record-high prices made it the right time to finally move. But here's an uncomfortable question. Are all these awakenings legitimate recoveries? Or are some of them early whales strategically dumping coins at peak prices, using the dormant wallet story as cover? The awakenings didn't stop in 2025. Even into February 2026, massive wallets kept surfacing, and one movement caught everyone's attention. On February 9th, 2026, another massive wallet woke up. 2,043 Bitcoin moved after being inactive for 7 years, worth tens of millions of dollars. But this one was different. Blockchain analysts traced connections to Cumberland, one of the largest institutional crypto trading firms in the world. This wasn't a forgotten miner finding an old hard drive. This was a massive institutional movement. Some dormant wallets don't belong to individuals. They belong to companies, funds, and organizations that bought Bitcoin years ago and have been strategically waiting for the right moment to act. Cumberland handles large volume transactions for institutional clients. A 2043 BTC movement with Cumberland connections suggests this wasn't a recovery. It was a planned liquidation by a sophisticated player, dormant by choice, not by accident. The crypto world romanticizes dormant wallets as lost treasure rediscovered, but some awakenings are calculated moves by powerful players who let their wallets sleep on purpose. And that changes everything. For every wallet that wakes up, thousands remain silent and will stay silent forever. They sit there permanently, balances visible to the entire world, a constant reminder of what could have been. Analysts estimate that up to 20% of all Bitcoin ever mined may be permanently inaccessible. Unlike gold lost at sea, Bitcoin locked behind a destroyed key is gone with mathematical certainty. No technology will ever retrieve it. But here's the final twist. These lost coins aren't failures of Bitcoin. They're a feature. Every lost coin makes the remaining supply more valuable. Even in death, these wallets are shaping the market. The story of forgotten crypto wallets isn't really about technology. It's about time. Someone made a small decision years ago to mine some coins, to set a password, to walk away. And time did what time always does. It transformed something worthless into something priceless. The wallets didn't change. The coins didn't multiply. The world around them simply woke up to their value. Every dormant wallet is a time capsule of decisions. The decision to buy, the decision to hold, the decision to forget. And the people who forgot the longest often gained the most. Accidental patience became the most profitable strategy in the history of money. But the losses are just as real. For every resurrection, there's a hard drive in a landfill that no one will ever reach. Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is plugging in a dusty hard drive, about to discover something worth more than their house, their car, and their savings combined. What have you forgotten? Forgotten wallets, lost passwords, fortunes hidden in plain sight. Some will be found, some will stay lost forever. Each one carries a story about what happens when time turns nothing into everything. Today you saw the full picture, from Bitcoin's worthless beginnings to $84.6 million awakenings, from 80-hour password cracks to billions lost in digital graves. If this opened your eyes, hit like and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Now tell me, if you had 100 Bitcoin from 2010 and lost the password, what would you do? Hire a recovery specialist, crack it yourself, or accept the loss? And here's the real question. Is there a forgotten wallet on an old device somewhere in your house right now? Because stranger things have happened.